and get in the audience a little ways, and he came running toward me. He had a cancer the size of a golf ball hanging on his neck, on his throat, and right before the people's eyes in that audience, that growth vanished, the flesh covered over, and the cancer was totally gone. People, that's Book of Acts stuff. That is Book of Acts stuff. And we've got that Book of Acts among us now. He grabbed me and swept me off my feet, is what he did. I later got word from a pastor in Louisville. He said, Brother Stoneking, he said, I brought 4 critically ill people in wheelchairs and crutches and all kinds of things. He explained. He said all 4 of them were healed in that service tonight. People, this is where we've got to get to. This is where we have to go. I have... There's a very special guest in this audience tonight. He's also a personal friend of mine. In 2006, he was involved in an industrial accident at work where he worked, and he became paralyzed from his waist down. In 2012, I was at the Apostolic Conference in Madison, Mississippi, hosted by Jerry Dillon. And this young man, his parents were in that conference, and they made their way through the crowd to the front and got a hold of me. They said, Brother Stoneking, our son Joshua is paralyzed from his waist down. May we stand in for him, and would you pray for him? I said, of course I will. And so what I didn't find out till later was, I didn't know them, I never met them, I never knew Joshua. So what happened was, I laid hands on them and prayed for them, and I could feel the Holy Ghost go through me. Unknown to me, Joshua was in their home in Oregon with some relatives watching this online. I didn't know that. He could walk a little, but it was very difficult. He could not stand up and lift his hands and close his eyes. He would fall over. He couldn't do it. He had to hold on to something or be seated. Yes. But while he was in the wheelchair watching this with his hands raised, he felt a warmth in his legs, which he had not felt before, as I understand it. He felt like probably his friends, the family were there, had their hands on his legs, and it was the warmth coming with their hands. He opened his eyes, there were no hands on him at all. He knew it was God. He got up and began to walk in that room in front of his relatives or family, whatever. He began to walk back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He raised his hands and closed his eyes and prayed and did not fall over. Then he went outside in the driveway, and he couldn't run at all. It was totally, he could not run at all. He began to run. He ran back and forth on the drive, and I've got that on film. When it was first told to Joshua, the doctor said, you'll never walk again. Joshua said, well, I'll pray. God is a healer. The doctor said to him, doesn't make a difference how much you pray, you're never going to walk again. Because at that time, as I understand it, Joshua was 87% fully disabled. As I understand it, there were at least 2 discs, no fluid in them, and there were about 3 discs that were bulging out. But at this point, he just had I think he told me today, he just had a checkup with the doctor, went in, and they can't find anything. Everything is normal. The whole